What's the dumbest thing you believed as a kid? When I was a kid, my mom explained to me that we all had belly buttons because that's how our moms fed us before we were born. So I thought, when you got pregnant, your belly button opened up and you just put whatever you wanted to down there. Like I thought women were just shoving chicken legs in their belly buttons. Plot twist, I'm a postpartum nurse now. That actor/TV characters would have to come back into a studio for each rerun of a show/movie. I would always be so amazed that people would have the time to go into a room with a camera multiple times a day just so I could watch them do the same thing over and over again. I used to think that laugh tracks were somehow real life, like I was hearing everyone else laughing who was watching the same show I was. In hindsight, this is really stupid. Obviously the sound is coming from the speakers, but growing up we only had TV at my grandma's place and I remember laughing really loud when the laugh track came on so all her neighbors would think I got the joke too. That my grandma G had a glass eye and that she lost her eye in a bar fight. Nope, took me until I was 20 to discover she just had a lazy eye, and my dad and his brothers always told kids that story every holiday meetup. I used to watch my dad go to the ATM, look at the receipt, and get grumpy/frustrated. I knew how bank accounts and ATMs worked, but the kid logic part of my brain figured that they also kind of worked like slot machines, in that when you conducted some transaction on them, you got that slip with 3 icons on it. If you got one with 3 cherries, for example, you would take it inside and they would deposit $50 or whatever into your account. I figured he was frustrated because he kept losing all the time. I even asked him a few times when he was looking at the receipt, "Did you win?" And he was like, no. My sister thought the same as a kid. My mother used to let her rub the card for luck right before she make her withdraw. The teachers sleep at school. The first time I saw one of my teachers at the supermarket, I was shocked. I must have thought the school kept them in a broom closet or something. My stepdad had an old truck with 2 gas tanks that he would flip a switch to change from one to the other. He had us convinced that he would magically steal gas from other vehicles. He would tell us to pick one and we would watch the gas dial go from E to F while driving on the highway. Blew my mind. That asterisk was literally sleeping next to one another and making moaning sounds. I heard things I wanna forget. I thought asterisk was making out with your shirt off, but not pants off, because that would be gross. Mayo. Yeah, imagine taking your pants off in front of someone else. How gross. I didn't know cars have a turn signal lever, so I thought the car knew where we were going. I thought the car would use the arrows to tell my parents where to turn. I thought a baby just randomly appeared in a woman's womb. I stayed awake crying about it because I didn't want to become pregnant. For some reason, I thought every car that was made had to do a crash test. Probably because my dad once told that our car had a very good rating in the crash test. I was amazed by the fact that old cars were repaired so well before being sold. I thought that drinking and driving meant any drink. I burst into tears the first time I heard about drinking and driving. My dad always had a Dr. Pepper when we went places, and I thought he was going to go to jail forever. I distinctly remember yelling at my dad after he filled up and grabbed a chocolate milk and took a sip as we drove out of the gas station. Everyone in the car started laughing at me. I just want us all not to die. My brother and I wrote letters to Santa, and our dad would open up the coal furnace door and we would throw them in the fire. We believed they would go directly to the North Pole. My mom had us throw our letters in a wood fire, and when sparks came down and rested on the burning paper, those were the fire fairies, and they carried the ashes to Santa where he magically reassembled them. And read your letter. Relevant username. Not me, but my brother was convinced for a few weeks that some cows had longer legs on one side of their body so they could stand on hills. Those are the ones we get lean beef from. I thought the black market was an actual market, like under a bridge or something. I believed this for longer as I want to admit. Same. Like an farmer's market for guns and organs. Get your kidneys here. Good kidneys for a fair price. You know those animatronic dinosaurs at museums? I knew they were robots, but as a child I was convinced that the robot was unaware of its animatronic status. I believed that if the robot wanted to, it could and would step over the barrier and eat me and everyone else. And this fear was compounded when my dad, more than once, picked me up and pretended he would drop me down the other side of the barrier. Blue fire was cold. Azla was pretty cold at the end of Adler. 13-year me thought she was pretty hot during the beach episode. This dude sticks his asterisk in crazy. Watch out. I had no idea that morning sickness was associated with pregnancy. My coach was concerned when I shrugged my shoulders and stated that's what was probably causing my sluggishness at football camp practice. I had scoliosis surgery when I was 14 and was extremely nauseous for like 2 months because of the medication. I got into a routine where I would always throw up in the morning, so I kept a bowl beside my bed. My granddad came to visit me and naturally asked about the bowl. In front of my granddad, mom, and dad, I, without missing a beat, exclaimed that it was to help with my morning sickness. My mom burst out laughing, but my granddad and dad didn't think it was so funny until they realized what I had meant. That all bald men were kidnappers. No idea where it came from. I really don't think I was kidnapped as a child. But if I was, it was definitely a bald man that did it. I thought men who were hairy all over were less evolved. As a balding man who is hairy, I have not kidnapped anyone yet, but I'm probably closer related to a wild animal than an average person. So 1 out of 2 isn't bad. When I was about 4, my older sister told me that since the population of Japan was so high, Japanese people slept sideways on their beds so they could fit more people on every bed. I believed it until I went to a sleepover at 13 and suggested that we sleep Japanese style on the bed so everyone could fit. This is too good. So many spoons, chopsticks, gotta lay perfectly straight and still for maximum capacity in Japanese style. When I was young, my parents told me that if I kept leaving the fridge open, then I would freeze the whole world and then no one would like me. And then no one would like me. I'm still cackling like a asterisk madman at that for some reason. Hey, there's that little asterisk who throws the world. We hate him. Climate scientists hate him. See how one boy stopped global warming with one simple trick. Asterisk. I thought that pregnant was a bad word. I was the most sheltered kid ever. I'm with you. I was corrected once for saying it. A woman is expecting. Asterisk expecting asterisk a child, but it asterisk could asterisk be a velociraptor. The dinosaurs were still alive on another island, and I kept asking my mother if we could go to the island with all the dinosaurs. Then she told me they were all dead. Clearly your mom never heard of Isla Nublar. Once I was playing with some toys and my mom was talking on the phone to her friend. I guess they were talking about kids growing up and having families someday, because my mom puts her hand over the phone and asked me if I wanted kids someday and if I wanted boys or girls. I gave it some thought and said that I wanted one boy and one girl. For the longest time after this, I thought that it had been completely decided, like my mom was just on the phone with whoever you call to place an order for kids, and my order had been finalized. My mom told me babies came from pumpkin patches. I thought that if you eat a pumpkin you'll become pregnant. Only if you eat the seeds. That we had to change our names during different stages of our lives. Like we have a toddler's name, a teenager's name and an adult's name. Timmy, Tim, Timothy, Bobby, Rob, Robert, Bob, Bobert. Escalator stairs were one-time use and just kinda piled up under the floor. That's so funny to me. Just all these stairs in a bin. Gotta take them out to the truck and dump them the stair disposal. I often got caught doing stupid stuff when I was a young rascal. When I would get home, my dad would say a little birdie told him he seen me do such and such with the boys. Up until I was 8 or 9 maybe, I believed my father had some sort of snitch pigeon keeping an eye on me. Edit. Punctuation amendments. Snitch pigeon is my new favorite phrase. That fat people explode when they get too fat. A wafer thin mint. 2 gems from my youth. 1. I used to think my testicles were the eggs of my future children. Like, one day they would hatch and I'd have 2 kids. 2. I thought safe asterisk meant someone left their clothes on. Like your first one, I thought one actually got sent into the uterus. It just gets slurped up in there. People don't like people that grow vegetables in their house. I secretly celebrated my mom's poor in-house gardening skills because her tomato plants never had any tomatoes. I was about 11 when I figured out what those tomato plants were. Oh, so you won't tell people. Funny thing is, my older brother had no recollection of this incident or that they grew weed in our attic, and he was a part of the discussion. I was about 6 and he was 8. Not sure if this was just a UK thing, but as a child I had some of those gooey jelly alien toys that came in plastic eggs, and the big rumor on the playground at the time was if you put a boy alien and girl alien in the same egg and put it in the fridge, they would make a new baby alien overnight. I told my parents about it and told them I was doing it. While in bed, my parents added the extra baby alien overnight. So when I woke up and found the third alien, I lost it. Went into school and told everyone. 4 years I swore blind it was true and really happened. It was a very heartbreaking day when I realized what had happened. Reminds me of the time when my parents would sneak miniature food items into my doll house and say that the dolls had been grocery shopping. That is incredibly sweet, but not much variety in Little Foods, is there? Oh, the dolls have bought some more chocolates from a box of celebrations I see. Those toy kitchens though.